Alrighty, Boyd. So, I did want to get back to my A's, so I did. And I grabbed a movie that I hadn't seen before that I was in the mood for something action. So, went and grabbed Atomic Blonde. I'd never seen this one, but I like Charlize Theron and thought, hey, why not give it a go? I've heard kind of back and forth on it. And the movie's alright. Definitely gets a little bit head scratchy towards the end. But, yeah. So, it's a decent action flick. Set in, it's a Cold War Berlin, so going back and forth between the Berlins. Now, I watched this a little while ago, and so it's pretty convoluted, so it's taking me a second to get everything together. So, then let me see if I can get the right character name here, because it has been a little bit. So, Charlize Theron is our lead spy. She's British intelligence trying to figure out why one of their agents went missing, and another one has been kind of acting, well, maybe have gone native, so she's supposed to go in there and, well, kind of untangle a clusterfuck, because the list of all the agents has been found, that has been stolen, and is now being traded among the Russian underground. So, however, it immediately passed up the chain of command, so it sounds like the Russian guy who's got it is trying to sell it himself. So there we go. It's that's kind of the answer. Lorraine. Her name's Lorraine. Anyway, so this one's based on a comic book and definitely feels it in some of the style. Now, we kind of open with Lorraine. Most of the movie's told in flashback. We open with Lorraine kind of resting her battered body in some ice water. She gets out. She grabs her Stoli vodka and proceeds to go in for a debriefing where she's talking with an American agent, John Goodman. I'm seeing a lot of John Goodman lately. And into her MI6 handlers, saying that everything went wrong, and because there's a mole in the, then that's they're trying to figure out who is. I'm trying to remember. It's like Satchel, I think is what he was called, Satchel. Anyways, try to figure out who Satchel is, and she may have figured it out, and so it's relating her time there. And it's like every country is involved here. That John Goodman's like an American of interest who's trying to steer her a little bit. You got her being British, a French agent's following around. You got the guy who's supposed to be British, but he's this is James McAvoy. He's essentially enjoying his lifestyle and running back and forth sides of Berlin too much. So he may be compromised, maybe he isn't. And then you got the Russians who are trying to keep this information or get this information, depending on which group of Russians you are. A lot of players going into this. And it gets confusing by the end, as not only do we get a twist on who Satchel is, we get a double twist. So it definitely keeps throwing you for a loop. There are things I liked about it. I liked her relationship with the French agent, they meet in the bar over Stoli vodka. Why am I doing this constantly? Grabbing the Stoli and showing it off? Because that's what this movie does. She's in a bar a lot, and each time she's ordering Stoli. They're ordering Stoli vodka, and half the time the bottle is clearly visible there. This movie is really peddling the vodka. It is good vodka, to be fair. So, now that me having that bottle is actually kind of coincidental, because I've been mixing drinks lately, and that's my go-to mixer has been Stoli. So the fact that this movie is advertising it so much had little to do with me picking that up. I was already drinking it. Alright. In fact, it caused me to recognize it. I was in the movie. It's like, hey. I digress. So, the movie it's a pretty standard spy action film. It doesn't go The main problem I have with it is it's not over the top enough. You hear a title Atomic Blonde, and you want to see something crazy, and while it's fine, it's not as... It's no Transporter. It's no John Wick. It's nothing like that where it's just goes insane with the action. I mean, it's fine, but she's getting her ass handed to her more often than... And she's left limping away more often than she's being cool. I mean, she does do some cool things throughout the movie. Particularly like it is abandoned building. When she's trying to defend a guy who's memorized the list and is able to, repeat it. So, there are some cool things. But there's long stretches of just where it kind of just drags. The movie is hour and 54 minutes, and it feels it. The action scenes are cool, but not cool enough. I was wanting something more intense, and I've seen more intense. I know Charlize Theron can do more intense. The movie's just fine. And that's kind of the main problem I have with it. It's only okay, and I wanted it to be more than okay. And plus, the ending, you let's try to figure out exactly how some things add up. I mean, I'm sure I could figure it out if I tried more, but it didn't interest me enough to want to. It's not a bad movie. It doesn't peddle bad vodka. But it's only a 5 MacGuffins for me. This vodka earns much more MacGuffins. Let's get 8. Movie only 5. So, Atomic Blonde, 5 MacGuffins. Yeah, it's on 2-pack. I usually cover it up. I'll get to Lucy at some point. I haven't seen that one either. But that's a movie for another day. And I've still got a bit of a stack here that I need to chew through on my reviews. So, away we go. Soundtrack's good in Atomic Blonde. I will say that. Definitely will say that. But yeah, 5 MacGuffins. See you later, boys.